Hello everyone, welcome back again to Bimsy Styling YouTube channel. My name is Abimbola. So today we'll be learning how to draft, cut and sew a well padded hip and butt. I'll show us how to achieve this using our skirt pattern. So if this is what you are interested in, kindly do well to stay till the end of today's tutorial. And if you are coming across my channel for the very first time, please do well to subscribe to my channel. Also turn on the notification so that whenever I upload a new video, you will be notified. So let's get right into today's tutorial. So to achieve this, the very first thing we need is our pattern. And here I have the front pattern of my skirt, and here is also the back pattern. So this pattern is actually a long pencil skirt pattern. So but then I won't be needing all the extra parts below the nail line. So from the nail line I will go ahead to cut out my pattern both for the front and the back. So this is what I have after cutting out from the nail line. And then the first part we are working on is the front pattern. So I'll take my back pattern aside. So starting with my front pattern, at the side front, I'll go down by 2 inches. So I'll mark that point 2 inches. And then on the hip line I will take 4 inches. So you can take either 4 or 5 inches depending on how big the person is on the hip. So I'll take 4 inches also at 2 inches below the hip line. So from the nail line I'll go up by 2 inches from the nail line. You can also do 1.5 inches. So I'll connect all my points together. So let me take that again. From the top line, that's the top of the pattern, I came down by 2 inches at the side, and also on the hip line I came in by 4 inches, and also 2 inches mark below the hip line. I also measured another 4 inches, and at the knee line I came up by 2 inches. So I'll connect all the points together. From the 2 inches mark we came down at the top of the front pattern, I'll connect it straight to the 4 inches mark and also blend it in from the 4 inches on the hip line to the 2 inches below the hip line, and then I will do well to connect from that 2 inches line below the hip line. I'll connect it back to the 2 inches I came up by at the nail line. So I connect all the 4 points together like so. After connecting, I'll go ahead to label what I have. That's the upper part and the down part. Please do well to label these patterns. We also have the side front. I went ahead to label that part too. This will be necessary because when you are cutting out your foam, you'll be needing all of this mark. So do well now to cut out the pattern you have on your front skirt pattern. So after cutting it out, this is what it looks like. So now for the back pattern, I'll also start at the side back. So from the top of the pattern paper, I'll also do well to come down by 2 inches. The same 2 inches we came down at the front. That's for the front pattern. I'll come down by 2 inches. So on the hip line for the back, for the hip line at the back, I'll go in by 1 inch from the zipper allowance. Also the 2 inches below the hip, I also take 1 inch from the zipper allowance. Now for the back, we'll be needing the underbutt line. Yeah, we need the underbutt line to shape out the padding for the butt. And here is how to take the measurement for our underbutt. What you're seeing on the screen is how to take the measurement for the underbutt. So whatever value you got when taking the underbutt measurements, do well to take that measurement on your pattern paper and mark the points. So for this pattern it is 14 inches, and I went ahead to take that measurement and I've marked out the straight line. So now do well to label that line my underbutt line. So on the new line for the back pattern, we'll go up by 2 inches, just the same way we did for the front pattern. We'll mark the 2 inches at that point, and then on the underbutt line that we newly created, I'll also take 4 inches mark. You can do 4 to 5 inches at the under butt. So I took 4 inches and I marked it at that point. So now for all the points that we marked out, I'll connect them all together. So from the top, the 2 inches was connected to the 1 inch at the zipper part where we came in by 1 inch, and then I blended that part to the 2 inches line below the hip line and also connected it to the underboards, and then finally to the 2 inches we came up at the nail area. So do well to also label your pattern, the up, the down, the side back, and the center back. And then I'll cut out what we have now. So here is our front and our back pattern for the hip and the butt. So this is the foam I'll be working with. It's about 0.75 inches wide. We have different sizes of this foam. We have 0.5 inches, we have 0.75, we have 1 inch. So you'll be the one to determine how big you want your butt or your hip to actually be at the end of the day. So I went ahead to place the pattern on it, and I also cut out the exact pattern we have on the foam. So this is what it looks like after transferring both the hip and the butt padding to the foam. So please note, for each of the pattern you cut out two each. So one of it will serve as the right padding and the other one will serve for the left side. I hope we get that. So now, to avoid any form of mix up, do well to label your foams as well, because if you don't do this, I can tell you, you might end up turning the down part up and turning the upper part down if you don't label your foams. So that's why I'm carefully taking out my pattern paper and then I labeled my foams. So you also do well to do the same thing. I'll also do the same thing to the other side. As you can see, all the foams have been labeled, so I can tell which one is for the right and which one is for the left. So the next thing to do is to trim out the edges of our foam. The essence of doing this is to have that flat and smooth transitioning into the skin so that the edges will blend into the skin. Of course, if you leave it without trimming it, it will be so obvious that you padded the skirt of your dress, and this won't be nice at all. So do well to trim it to the lowest, as in trim it such that it's so flat and it blends, so that it blends smoothly into the skin. So I've gone ahead to trim all of my foams, and the next thing now is I'll be working with this interfacing. This is a paper stay. You can work with any type of interfacing of your choice. You can actually use the air stay, but for this tutorial I'll be using the paper stay. So do well to cut out what you have as the shape of each of your foams. Cut them out, and then, so after cutting my paper stay, I went ahead to press all of the paper stay on each of the foams. So take to the ironing table and press them smoothly on each of the foams that we have. And after doing this, the next thing is to sew at the edges of each of this foam. Yes, do well to sew them down like 2 to 3 times. Just run your stitches around each of the foam. And at the end of the day, this is what I have for all of the 4 foams that I'm working with. So now the next thing is to join the front and the back together at the side. So do well to pin it down and then take it to the sewing machine and join them together at the side. So you can see that this is exactly what I am doing here, and this is what we have for the front and the back. So these are the two sides for my hip and my butt padding. It's looking so nice. So this is the skirt I am working with. I've gone ahead to cut out on fabric. Please note that whatever the size of the foam you are working with, you need to calculate the extra allowance you are adding to the hip. So the first thing I did was to go ahead and join my lining at the side. That's the side back and the side front together. So I went ahead to join them together, and the zipper part was left opened. So now to attach my hip and butt padding, I'll go ahead and take the measurements that we took when we were actually drafting. So I'll come down by 2 inches at the waist. I'll come down by 2 inches at the waist, and then I'll take my waist to hip measurement. I'll take my waist to hip and mark it. And on that point, I'll go in by 1 inch. I'll mark my 1 inch. So for the hip pad, I'll match up the side seam of the skirt together with the joining of the hip pad. I'll match them together like so. I will ensure I pin it down just exactly at the point where I joined my linings together at the side. So I'll pin it down, and this is what we have. I'll take it to the sewing machine and run my stitch on the exact point where I actually joined the lining together. That's the side front and the side back together. So this is it after joining. I've actually taken it to the sewing machine and I've run my stitches on both the two sides of the pad. So I'm now marking the 1 inch and then pinning it down round the bolt pad. So I'll pin them down on my lining like so. So after pinning, I'll also take it to the sewing machine, sew around the hip and the bolt pad for both the right and the left side. And this is what we have after sewing. You can see it from the outside. Now I'll get my main fabric, which is the Ankara fabric, and then I'll place my lining on it like so. I'll pin it down and then sew it together at the hem. So after sewing the lining to the main fabric, this is what we have. You can see it from the inside. I turned my lining with my main fabric, and also at the center back I went ahead to also close up the lining with the main fabric. So after this process, I will go ahead and close up my center back using the exact seam allowance I added for the zipper area. I'll close up my center back, and then I will also attach my zipper and also attach my band to the waist area. And so once this is done, our skirt is ready. So if you're here to subscribe to this channel, kindly do so now. Kindly hit on the subscribe button and subscribe to my channel. Also do well to like this video, share with friends, and do well to turn on your notification so that whenever I upload a new tutorial, you'll be notified. So at the end of our sewing, our cutting, our drafting, and our sewing, this is what we have. So thank you all for watching. I'll see you in my next tutorial. Bye.